What's up? What's up? Getting ready to do this with Dee Money. Hey, what's going on, team? Prince Olu in the building. Okay, I should do. Any comments? How far, man? I'm here, man. Yeah. The COVID season. COVID season, man. But it's all good. Try to make the most of this. What's going on in MIA? Yeah, man. Yeah, Ram Records. It's crazy. I was life goes, time flies. Spent some time listening to some of the joints today, man, from Ram Records. Crazy stuff, man. But it's all good. Shout out to Dee Money. Dee Money is right on time. What else? I think should be able to invite you now. Yes. Dee Money, I think if you post a comment, then I should be able to send you an invite. Jai, what's up? DJ Jai in the building. Big up. Oh, nice one. Dee Money send a request. Bang, bang. Yes, we're here, man. COVID season. What's going on, D?
What's going on, brother?
We are here, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you ready for your show tonight? You've been doing it every night?
Almost every day.
Damn, son. I don't know how you do it, man.
I got the natural high.
Yeah. It's mad. It's mad. I tune in sometimes and just put it on the TV and just do what I'm doing. Just jam it on, whatever,
I appreciate the support, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, nice one, man. Yeah, thanks for agreeing to do this, man. I thought it's important, and I've been talking to folks, and I just try to do this with mainly most of us that are in the States. And then I spoke to Sally too yesterday. We talked about you, of course. I've spoken to a lot of our folks out here. And you're somebody that's been consistent when it comes to this part of town for years now. And I think when that's consistent, people probably don't even have any idea what that means, But you've been about that life, so yeah, I think it'll be cool. Dee Money, if you tell us a little bit about your background, and then I really want us to talk about the movement that you've been a major part of, contributed largely in the United States, where we are now, and then we'll conclude with you in terms of, from your perspective, what do you foresee? Where do you think it's going to head? Having a good understanding of where we came from. You know what I mean? So yeah, if we can just start from there, it would be great. Yeah.
Oh, man, look, man, I appreciate this opportunity. And, I like what you do. I've been seeing your whole movement for a while, for many, many years.
Yeah.
And especially moving to this platform that you have to allow people like us and in the diaspora to be able to tell our stories, because, a lot of people don't understand, what goes on behind the scenes. A lot of people don't know what we've been through, in order to remain consistent, I've been DJing for almost 20 years. Almost 20 years. I started off the traditional way with records, of course. My garage is filled with over 1,500 records that I'm trying to figure out what I need to do with them. Started off in Chicago, did every college parties in Chicago. Back in the days in Chicago, what we used to go rent halls. We do parties in halls. All the whole Nigerian restaurants in Chicago, I've done parties in. I'm like, out of every 5 to 10 Nigerians in Chicago, I think a good 8 or 9 of them should know who I am, or in the Midwest in the country. You know, so you have to be specific. I don't know exactly
Yeah,
what.
man.
So you know, if you
Dee
like,
Money, I know you're like, no one, you can't think Chicago without thinking Dee Money. And you can't think, and that's Chicago, right? And then now you can't talk about Nigerian DJs in America and in Nigeria without Dee Money. How did you even get into the whole music thing? You know, like for me earlier today, I put up something where I started, in a rap group, in a hip hop group at a young age, and the love has been the same, transitioning to everything that I'm doing right now.
Mhm.
How did you fall in love with music? At what age?
Man, I've had passion for music for the longest. Growing up in Nigeria, you know what I mean? All these dance competitions, the break dance and all of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For the longest, I've always loved music. You know, back in Nigeria, I would have music playing in my house so loud, and my mother would think I'm crazy. Me and my brother are 3K. But I think my passion for music is very deep. My passion for music is so deep that I can come here and I can DJ 10 hours straight. You know
Yeah,
what I
I saw
mean?
it, man. Like,
My passion for music is so deep that I don't even care who's in my live watching me. It could be two, three people, three people. The same energy I'll give 1,000 people, I'll give
put
it
it
to
in.
3 people. You know what I mean? So my passion is unheard of. It's spiritual.
Hmm.
Spiritual.
Yeah, it's crazy. So like now in terms of around the time you started off in Chicago, right? Were there any other like popular known DJs that, because back then even Afrobeat was, well, it wasn't even called Afrobeat back then anyway. But in terms of our music, Nigerian music, it wasn't even really popping back then. So, you know, how did you get into it, like doing what you did?
Well, shout out to Sonny Ade's son used to be in Chicago. He used to DJ back then. He was a guy that had a lot of records. He used to give me records back then, but for some reason he stopped DJing. You know, life situations happened and he stopped DJing. There used to be Nigerian stores in Chicago. They used to sell a lot of the CDs. They bring CDs from Nigeria, you know what I mean, and they supply me with the CDs. And I used to have uncles back in Nigeria who would just send me the music. You
Okay.
know what I mean? So there were a few DJs back then, but they were not. When I came on the scene, it
Yeah.
was like I just took it from 0 to 100, and it was me doing it for a while in
Yeah.
Chicago. You know, I tried to tap into the African American market. I was doing mixtapes, but then I realized that whatever you're doing in this life, you have to have a foundation.
Yeah.
If you have a foundation,
Mhm.
you can always tap back to your foundation. Okay,
Mm.
me saying that means that I tried to go the African American route, but I realized that the promoters, they would always use their cousins or people that they know. They didn't know who I was. You know what I
Mm.
mean? But then I realized, like, oh, I be Niger guy, yo. You know what I mean? Let me cater to my people. All
Yeah.
right. So I started doing parties amongst the Nigerians. And the good thing about Nigerians is that the type of support that they'll give you, the support that they'll give you, it may not be online, but
Hmm.
through word of mouth,
Yes.
through word of mouth. So before you know it, I'm getting the Ghanaians coming in. I'm getting everybody coming to these parties that we're doing. So my foundation, like my rock, the people that hold me heavy in Chicago,
Yeah.
started off with the Nigerians.
Yeah. You're right. Okay. And,
Yeah.
and back then, obviously, like, you know, where were some of the places that when you started, you were doing your promotion and marketing and stuff? You talked about some of the Nigerian, the restaurants, which is how we started in New York. You know, we used to go to mosque, we go church, wait for after service, and give out, flyers. How did you do it in
We,
Chicago?
we, we pretty much did the same thing. The Nigerian community in Chicago is kind of small, so one person, there's always a party in Chicago, man. It's something about us Nigerians, man. We
Yeah.
have every reason to celebrate. We always want to party. And the thing about this America is, as long as people are stressed, they always want to have some way to release the event. So there's always a party.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So we always share flyers, restaurant, through the schools, through the junior colleges back then. You know, you tell one person, he gets around. There was no social media as heavy as it is right now. It wasn't like that back then. So we would create flyers, share flyers. And I had friends that were passionate about coming together and doing events. So we formed a crew. And that's how we
started doing it. Yeah. At this time, were you still in college when everything kicked off?
Oh yeah. I started off DJing right in college. I was working, I was DJing.
The hustle.
I was going to school.
The hustle, man. 3 in 1.
Yes,
I think if we learned anything from our parents from coming from Nigeria, I think we learned that, like, you know, multiple jobs, like you gotta get it done, you know. Cool. All right. So, like, what was at the very earliest stage for you, right? When was it that you realized that, you know, now I'm rocking with the African crowd, Nigerians, Ghanaians? When was it that you realized that, you know what, there's more to this. This could be big. I could do this like full time. Do you have any idea when that happened?
Man, ever since I started DJing.
Shout out to DJ 3K, man. Our brothers in the building.
My brothers in the building.
Yeah.
Hey, man, my brother is like, I never tell people I have a mentor because I don't think I had a mentor through this whole DJing thing. But me and my brother, when we started, we bumped heads, and a lot of things that I know, my brother actually catches it first. When he catches it and I catch it, then I go through the roof. So shout out to my brother 3K. But for me, like, ever since I started DJing, I was always working in DJing. It was not really a full-time thing for me until like 2 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, 2 years ago, I had to really think, like, you know, in life, it's never about the money. You know, if you have a passion, follow your passion and do whatever it takes to follow that passion, and the money will come. So thank God, 2 years ago, I mean, I left my job and I started doing this full time.
Yeah, and I think I'm so glad, you know, you talked about it, right? And I think for a lot of us that are based in the United States, I think most people do not realize that we work. There's so much other stuff, you know, that we're doing. Like, I think between here and Cali, I don't know. Let me just, I don't know any or too many promoters that didn't have other work or that doesn't have other jobs that they're doing. Some have 2, some have 3 jobs on top of doing everything else, you know, that they do. And it's a different also, obviously, than, you know, than being in the States. I mean, being in Nigeria and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, okay, cool. So, Dee Money, one of the biggest things for me, and shout out to DJ Bayo and stuff, he's there also with us, DJ Jaye, all of them.
DJs.
You know, that I had. Dee Money at an earlier stage, right? One of the biggest thing, like, that was happening here, we had the Nigerian reunion, you know what I'm saying? Then, you know, we had the Niger DJs, we had the NEAs and stuff. Can you talk us through, you know, you were doing it for a long time already, and can you talk us through that process when the whole thing started for Niger DJs? How everything got started for Niger DJs? Let me say that for the coalition of the Nigerian DJs.
So, man, you mentioned NEA. Did you say NEA or NRC? Which one did you say? So many.
Yeah, NEA, the NRC. Nigerian Reunion, the Nigerian Terminal Awards, the Niger Summer Jam. I mean, Nigerian DJs.
So I'm gonna start from the earliest to the latest. So the earliest was NRC.
Nigerian Reunion.
NRC. My first experience with Nigerian Reunion. This was in 2000, and I wasn't there as a DJ, but 2001. I believe it was done in New York, New Jersey. And I remember that time we drove from Chicago. My brother drove. We drove 12, I think it was, I can't remember how many hours it was from Chicago to that area.
That's a trip, right?
Bro. It was 12 hours. I think it was 10 or 12 hours.
Yeah, Chicago
Yeah,
to
I mean,
New
I
York.
thought that reunion was amazing. That was my first time seeing that many Nigerians at one place
One
in
place.
time. And that was my first time after seeing people who I had known in Nigeria after so many years. I saw them at that at event. So reunion. Fast forward, I DJed a few reunion events. I thought the NRC reunion was a great platform for uniting Nigerians in diaspora. It's sad that after many years that they're not doing it anymore. But for a while it lasted. I thought it was a great platform, and I wish they can bring something like that back because, especially with the explosion of Afrobeats movement right now, I think it'll be a huge platform to
Yeah.
really celebrate the culture that we are. That a lot of these people who are celebrating the Afrobeat movement right now would like
Yeah.
to be a part of. So after that, the NEA, shout out to you and the whole NEA movement. Actually got the first DJ award over
Over
here.
there, right?
Hold on, let me show it to you.
Oh man, let's see, man. Let's see, man. History over here, man. From
I
deep
can see it in there.
out here. Oh man. Oh
This
man.
was, what? Funny enough, it says the first annual Nigerian Entertainment Awards for DJ of the Year.
Wow, that's crazy.
I think this was in
That would have been like '06, 2000.
'06.
Yeah.
'06. So
Wow.
that platform was very useful for me. It was one of the platforms that I feel like kind of exposed me more to the diaspora. So shout out to you guys for that one. Also, the Nigerian DJs, the coalition of Nigerian DJs. Shout out to my brother. We thought that having a group. I mean, we always have this saying, two or more heads are better than one, right?
Yeah.
So we figured that it was time to really promote the whole Nigerian music movement back then, and we thought that the only way that we can do that is if we can get all these DJs together as a group and share ideas and move forward. And that's how we reached out to a lot of DJs around the world. Man, we had a lot of DJs.
Not just in the US. You had DJs in the UK. You had
In
DJs in
UK,
Nigeria.
in Nigeria. So I
Joint.
was reaching out to all these DJs in Nigeria, Humility, Jimmy Jack. I reached out to all of them. I reached out to DJs all over in the UK.
Yeah.
So we created a platform whereby we can share music. It started off we were sharing music through emails. Then my brother and I created a record pool.
Yeah.
So we created that record pool. That record pool had over about 20,000 users. You know what I mean? But we had to take that record pool down because of lack of support. People were not. It was a free record pool, and if you're getting something for free, it's only right for you to understand that it costs money to run the record pool. You always want to support it so that the record pool can always be there. You know what I mean? But we took it down because people were not supporting. But we're coming back. We're coming back with something nice, an upgraded record pool for the DJs. And for those who don't know what a record pool is a platform where DJs get music.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so we also did the Summer Jam. We did the Summer Jam for 10 years.
Yes. Yeah.
We're going to different cities.
Yeah.
And as they say, all good things, comes to an end. So we had to put a stop to the Summer Jam. But what we're really focused on right now is in the mix with Nigerian DJs. We have the Facebook group that we, especially now that music is such a great way for people to, we know what music does to us right now. So we have that group on Facebook. We changed the name to Nigerian DJs in the Mix that allows DJs anywhere to get on a schedule and you can mix live on Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Dee Money, I think even sometimes when you're witnessing something and you're part of it and you're there, you don't realize how important it is until sometimes it's no longer available, right?
Mm-hmm.
You talked about a record pool. And I think what a lot of
You
people
ran it
don't
for
realize,
10 years. Sorry,
yeah,
10 years.
yeah, what a lot of people didn't realize is that as of that time, that unity that was formed through the Nigerian DJs, it wasn't easy. I remember a lot of the challenges. It was not easy to do that. But that unity that was formed, just giving power to DJs from the UK, from Nigeria, to say we're part of one group, we're part of a team. And then the record pool, man, I think that broke a lot of records
Man.
because that's where Dee Money, the biggest difference back then to me now is like you could go to any parties and there were music that's been jammed, new music, new artists, and people were partying. They were not saying, oh no, it needed to be the biggest record. No. Nigeria DJs are playing this. That record is hot. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So those are some of my memories whenever I think about that record pool. It was a structure that's not even in place right now. And I'm glad you talked about Nigerian DJs in the mix. I think it's more important. Yeah, it's critical.
And a lot of these things that we do, that I do, that my brother do, is not for my benefit. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of times when you pay forward by supporting other people and showcasing other people, you'd be surprised at the amount of blessings that you get by doing that. And when I have this idea, when my brother has this idea, and I put it out there, you have people that I can tell that they're hesitant to be a part of it. I don't know if it's pride that they're not the one that started it. Who cares who started it? You know what I mean? It's something that's going to benefit everybody. You know what I'm saying? So when I do things, I'm not doing it for my benefit because I know where my blessings comes from. If I'm the record pool, we're not making money from that for more than 10 years. You know what I'm saying? The mix with Niger DJs, I'm spending time doing the schedule, reaching out to DJs to come and be a part of this and showcase their talent. I'm not making money from that, but I know that the blessings that I get is bigger than what anybody can pay me, and that's why I continue to do what I do.
Man, 10 years, I mean, trust me, from running the NEAs, I mean, we've talked so many times offline, the edict that comes with it, right? 10 years deep straight, the Niger DJs. I mean, like, I think when I spoke to Iceberg Slim, when I spoke to Sinzu, they all talked about those events. They talked about a reunion, talked about the Niger DJs, and a lot of the things. I met a lot of upcoming artists there that I started working with, at those events, right? I mean, what were some of the challenges that you went through, through that process? That's part one of my question. And part two, if you had to bring that back again, what would you need to make that happen?
I think, like I said earlier, the challenge is trying to get people on the same page. Trying to get a group of people on the same page. People always think you have a hidden agenda when there's nothing to hide. There's nothing to hide. And, and I think a lot of people try to be a part of certain things for their selfish interest. And when they get down because of their selfish interest, and if you no longer serve them any good, they then consider and detaching themselves because you're of no use to them anymore.
Of course.
You know what I mean? If I can bring it back, I think I'll make it more exclusive. I'll be more exclusive. You know what I mean? I'm not Father Christmas. I'm not here to carry the whole 100 people along. When you make
without interest and contributions from them.
There you go.
Yeah, absolutely. You're not a basket now.
There you go.
You guys are not a basket. Yeah.
And also, I think what we're lacking in our community is support, man. Support. Cause I can't say these enough, man. Support, man. When you see a talent and you see that they're doing something that they're passionate about, you need to go beyond and support them. Be a part of their story. Because when you're a part of their story and they make it and they end up being great, you're going to feel fulfilled there and look at that person and be like, man,
yes,
I'm part of that person's success.
It's true.
You know, the kind of effort that you're gonna give. I'm sorry for saying this, but I have to because I don't care. The kind of support that you're gonna give, oh, Beyonce, you know what I'm saying? Give that to somebody that you know. Give that to a talent that you know, so that you can be a part of their greatness. And like I said, you're gonna look back and be like, I remember what we had to do for this person. That's the feeling that I like to have. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true, and it's funny.
Oh, man, it's very important.
Yeah, when I spoke to Titi Loki, she talked about the support, you know, from yourself. And for those who don't know, Titi Loki is she's an artist, Nigerian American artist. She's from Chicago. She's now living in Virginia area. But she talked about the support heavily from yourself, from DJ 3K. And even when I listened to some of our records, I think I heard DJ 3K on one of the records and stuff like that. You know, she talked about that. And as I talk to more artists, they talk about, oh, you know, there's not enough support sometimes from the DJs and these, and you're talking about the same thing. You know, I've spoken to a few promoters on this platform, and one thing everybody's talking about is this whole unity, how to make this happen. What would be your ideas, knowing what you know now, right, in terms of the collaborative efforts from DJs, promoters, and artists in the United States? Shout out to Prince Demola is with us, shouting you out. Yeah.
Demola, what's up, man? Auntie New York. One love, man. One love. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So my question is that, you know, what do you think we need to do to create a better working relationship between the DJs, the promoters, and the artists?
Man. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know. Maybe be more transparent. Being more transparent in how we do business. The DJs that I work with in Chicago are DJs that have been working with me for a long time, for a very long time. You know, so we have that consistency and we have that understanding, and it's bigger than just DJing, because the people that DJ for our events, they're like brothers to us. So we've gotten past, oh, we are just coming to DJ. It's like a brotherhood, you know, and that's because we have that transparency with them. They understand, you know, what the business is like, and you know, that's how we keep it. So I think transparency. Yeah. And my boy DJ Matrix is here. It's one of my DJs.
Shout out to Matrix.
Yeah.
Shout out to Matrix, man. And Dee Money, right? In terms of, you know, you've obviously, you know, from the early stage also, you've done a lot of stuff with artists, from Nigerian artists. You know, some we work together in terms of sharing and stuff. Like, is it profitable? Should American promoters, I don't know, should promoters, US-based promoters, keep doing these shows with Nigerian artists from Nigeria?
Now there needs to be a coalition for that one. There needs to be a coalition of promoters for that one, because some Nigerian artists from Nigeria, you know, based on my experience, we need to teach some of them a lesson. And we can only teach them a lesson if we have a coalition.
Working together.
When we work together and we figure that this artist, whichever artist that's coming from Nigeria, if we think that they're not worth what they think they say they are, and we come together as a group and come up with a price that we think that they're worth, they have no choice but to come down to our level.
You're right. Demola said alone.
You know what I mean? And there are some Nigerian artists from Nigeria that I would never work with again. Work ethic sucks. You know what I mean? They just think that, okay, because they have 1 or 2 million followers online, that they are untouchable. Some artists from Nigeria I would never work with. And because I'll never work with them again, some of my promoter friends are not going to work with them again anymore. And that's period. That's it.
No, I mean, I think it's so important, right? You see, like, Dee Money, for years, I've worked in clinical research, right, with doctors and nurses. And when you're doing clinical research, when you're setting that up, there's some doctors that have been blacklisted by the FDA that they say you're doing your trial, do not work with these doctors because they're no good, they're not transparent, they're fraudulent. It should be the same thing.
Yes. Yes.
Right? Like Dee Money, I'm like, yo, I'm about to do a show with this guy. Like, yo, cuz nah. They were like, no, you guys do not go there. This is what happened. This, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes, yes.
We need that level of transparency and trust.
And we can only get that when we have a coalition of promoters.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And when we have that, we just hope that no promoter doesn't go undercut behind our back and do something crazy.
Now that was my next question, right? I spoke to Demola about this. I think briefly when Duke joined, I talked about it too. You see, one of the biggest problems we've had in New York, right, is that when we set price for an artist, another promoter will go behind and renegotiate with that same artist just because they want to do the show from, being braggadocious or like, I did it.
Yeah.
And offer more money. Have you had that experience?
In Chicago, see, the thing is, in Chicago, there are not a lot of promoters like in New York or the city. So, I haven't had that.
Demola says some stupid fools still go behind those giants. Even, and you're right, even if we have the coalition. But I think, Demola, to what Dee Money is saying, right? I think at least it's still a good starting point, right? Even if you have that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you can always invite other people to now join. Oh, by the way, we noticed you're a new promoter, you're doing this. Listen, we have structure in place. We have an association. I think you should join us. Maybe it's not a bad idea. I think in DC, I think they have some
something like that in DC.
I think they have some because when we went there to do I think the last NEA we did, and we were trying to work with people to do the after party. And a few calls, people say, "Oh yeah, we have to go through this coalition or this association." I'm like, "What the hell?"
And not only that, cause not only that with the whole coalition. Another thing is the promoter that brings the artists from Nigeria. There's some people who are not able to, who don't understand the logistics that's involved in bringing an artist from Nigeria, getting the artist here, and understanding what the artist needs to do for the success of the overall tour. Shout out, I'm sorry, I gotta put this plug in. Shout out to Big A. Big A is a guy who I've known for more than 7 years, you know what I mean? And he's the guy that most of my successful shows I've got him through Big A. And that's because he understands the business. He's not a groupie to these artists, because you have some of these promoters, that they're groupies to these artists. And when the artist comes around, once they book the flight and do all the necessary things to get the artist here, they start acting like groupies, you know what I'm saying? And that's not gonna work when you're doing business, because if you're a groupie, you're not gonna be able to tell Michael Jackson, I need you to do this, I need you to do that, because you're a groupie.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's crazy. And I think regardless of what, it's definitely still needed. And whenever I talk to Anderson, Big A, and, it's a similar conversation, because when we were working with Big A and we did so much stuff, non-issue, zero, because everybody understood what they needed to do. You know what I'm saying? Artists can't overprice because they know it's been set already. They show up on time. This is how long they'll perform for and stuff like that. But now I'm saying, like, artists will come and do a 20-minute show.
20-minute show. Or they don't even post your flyer.
You have to beg them.
It's like you get artist A, that, okay, you're the promoter in New York, you can promote to your people, but that artist has a reach bigger than you can reach. So if they are as consistent as they promote their events in Nigeria, you see, if they are doing one event in Nigeria, in Abuja or Lagos, they will want to kill your timeline because they're trying to promote their event. But when they come over to the States, getting them to promote your show, your event, is like pulling teeth. You know what I'm saying? And you as a promoter, when you lose money, you're not bringing that artist back anymore. The artist doesn't understand that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got to think of it long term. You know what I'm saying? An artist that I don't mind always bringing back to Chicago, if he wants to come, is Two-Face. You know what I'm saying? Because he understands the business. You know, So,
Of
yeah,
course.
that's my story, man.
Yeah, absolutely. What's the best experience you've had working with an artist? Would it be Two Face or anybody else?
I've had Two Phase. Yaya was good.
What
Yaya
about the
was,
band? You did the band like
the
09.
band, the band, the band show was great. We had a great show with the band, and yeah.
It's funny as you're naming names, right? Do you think it's more of an issue with the younger and newer artists?
Nice was good. Yeah, my brother just said nice.
Nice.
Yeah,
Oh,
nice
shout
was
out to him.
great.
Nice.
Yeah,
You see, again, nice, right?
yeah,
Same thing as I'm talking about. Do you think the issue is more of the newer generation of artists that we have?
yeah, yeah. I think I always tell people this, man. Fame is a hell of a drug. You know what I mean? And if you taste fame, if you don't know how to handle it, it's gonna lead you to do things that you regret when you mature.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So Banky it's mostly the mature, the older artists.
They matured. Yeah.
The younger ones, I'm sorry, for the most part, all of them are trash. They're
Hmm.
trash because at the end of the day, they come do these shows. It's a terrible experience. I'm not happy. I don't want to see them again. They're not coming back to my city. Nobody else is gonna bring them to my city. My other promoter buddies are not gonna bring them back. So hello.
Yeah. It's funny you talk too because in Queens at TG, I went there. I was there for Two Face event, and he performed tracks after tracks after tracks after tracks, right? And the money he collected was, I would say, even less than 50% of what another young artist that came there collected. And this guy performed 2 songs, and that was it.
And that was it. Yeah. Yeah.
There was nothing else to perform, even if he wanted to. That was it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So it's just crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dee Money, you have over 500 mixtapes out there in your time. I mean, I don't even know if that's correct. It may be more because I get those links, on my WhatsApp. I've been getting it for years, even before WhatsApp. I've been getting it from emails. I remember on Under the Rock, I had a section for DJ Dee Money mixtape on my website, from then, right? Dee
Yeah.
Money, like, one thing that a lot of DJs have done is they work for artists and hone publishing of some of this music by doing that, right? Is that something you ever do also, like partner with an artist so that you can now own publishing, or are you able to make money from your mixtape from the streaming platforms? That's where the question is heading at.
Unfortunately, no. For those that are listening, my mixes are on SoundCloud /DJ Dee Money. Right
Yeah.
now, I'm at 537 mixes, a lot of mixes. But no, I'm not. I'm not able to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know what the future holds in terms of working with artists,
Okay.
but it's something that I'm open to. I just have to make sure that I work
Okay.
with the right artists.
Okay. Dope. Yeah. I think I remember. I think you know like I feel like I remember, like, back then, like, one of the first things that I did, I put a mixtape out, and it was all original records. I keep a line volume one with Saws and some of these cats, Icebox Slim and Banky and things like that, right?
Mhm.
And I almost feel like, damn, man, like, now they're streaming. I'm gonna have to upload it online because I own it.
Yeah.
And I feel like somebody like yourself that can outwork anybody and 3K. I think even if it means maybe with some of the artists that are here, do some stuff with them, like, so you both own the record, and the way you push record, you can make any record a hit record. But you've done it, like,
I think I would only do that if I can find somebody that's as passionate as I am.
as
Because,
you are. Yep.
one thing that I believe in and that's gotten me this far is my level of passion and the consistency.
Hmm.
If you're not as passionate or consistent as I am, I can't work with you.
Hmm. Absolutely. D Money, another question I wanted us to talk about, right? I remember, like, from back then, remember we had MySpace, right? We
Yeah,
were there.
yeah.
And then all those early Nigerian reunions and stuff like that, a lot of those things, then eventually it will go onto Facebook when Facebook started, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then now you talked about your music. It's on SoundCloud. You have it on iHeartRadio also. You have
Mm-hmm. It's
links
all
on
over the place.
all over, all the
It's
digital.
Apple Podcast,
Exactly.
Mixcloud. I
Yeah.
used to have Spotify, but they kicked all DJs off Spotify.
Okay. Because of publishing, like we were
Copyright
talking about,
infringement.
and copyright. So now, to my question, right? Eventually, do you think it will be important for us to have our own platform to home, like this platform that is totally outright owned by Africans, whatever. I know there's Africa out there, even like Boom, a lot of the ones they have in Nigeria is not owned by Nigerians. A lot of the digital platforms. I'm talking about ownership of this platform so that it's easier to monetize.
I think we had a couple of people that started something like that. Shout out to Ike Orizu from
True Spot.
From True Spot Radio.
Yeah.
You know, Ike is a genius, if I can say that.
Yeah.
He had a lot of bright ideas.
Yeah.
Again, and again, support. You know what I mean? It seemed like we wanna put our money in the foreign, wanna put our money in the hands of Apple Music or businesses that are already established.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's nothing different from what Apple is doing with iTunes that Ike Orizu
was not doing.
You know?
The same concept.
So, we gotta always treat ourselves like the Jewish people treat themselves, man. Until we get to do that, our African brothers and sisters are always gonna uphold the standards of Kulu mentality.
So it goes back to the mind state, us understanding our own, being able to know that this is African little Dee Money. This is Dee Money. I'd rather buy that than this is from Apple Music.
Right.
I think, yeah. Wow. It's crazy. Yeah, I always, just think about it, man. This platform, all this mixtape, the record, like we can do so much more, from a lot of this thing. Okay, so that's that. We talk platform. Now let's talk about artists, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? Is there an opportunity for an artist in the US to go all the way and have big record and dominate the charts over here also?
Yes. I never believed that before until I saw what
IOJ
did. IOJ was one of the first Nigerian artists to break mainstream without no future on the record. I don't know what happened, but I felt like he got to the point whereby he was already mainstream, and all that was needed was consistency. Shout out to Duke in the building. What up, Duke?
Yeah.
All that he needed was consistency, man. Because if he was consistent, I think he'll still be banging out till today. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's.
So I think artists here can break as long as they have the right marketing in line. They have the right platform, the right marketing, the level of consistency, and with that, they should. Back then, I used to think, oh, you have to go to Nigeria.
That's what I'm saying. Because everybody's mentality.
Now, if you have the money, if you got the marketing, the level of consistency, you will.
It's funny because you talked about IOJ, you talked about transparency, and you talked about the need for us to have a coalition. I remember when we were going on tour with IOJ at an early stage, your number was out, but it wasn't big back then. And shout out to One Nation, my brother JP. We added Skills to the bill. We added Bobby on the microphone. There was supposed to be somebody else that didn't show up. I think Sheisha, but she had a situation she couldn't be there. And then we did a New York show. We added Jidena. Like last minute, we ended up bringing Jidena. I mean, I kind of talked about how much money was spent. It was crazy. It was like, lose it all, whatever. But it was important to do that just to make noise for IOJ. So we had Jenna, we had Skills, but IOJ was the headliner, even though he was the smallest artist in the lineup. And we did that in New York. We did it in, you know, a couple of states in Atlanta. Some spots that we went, it was maybe like 10, 15 people. At one point, Ayo, like, he was in tears. He did not even want to go on stage. And I remember myself and JP talking to him like, yo, Ayo, don't worry. You know, it's not always going to be like this. It was like, what's the point of us doing this? I mean, Dee Money on that tour, there were times when we got to a city and we didn't have money to pay for the hotels. And we in the city already. And credit card is not going through, and we're making calls. Osagi was with us. She got so mad.
Wow.
Yeah, she did like a couple of series with us. You know, she was managing Skills back then. She was mad. She's like, guys, what kind of nonsense is this? How come you guys haven't set this up? Osagi, there's no money. We haven't booked that hotel. You know, it would take that. I think even with promotion and artists, I keep telling people, you know, you can't blame Live Nation. You can't blame Polo for One African stuff. We have to put our money until we say, I'm willing to spend this money, whether it's for Nigerian DJ's event or it's NEA's, or if we have a reunion again, or you're doing like a major event like Afro League. Right. Until you say, I'm willing to spend this money to make it happen, you know, I just don't see it happening. You know what I'm saying? And that's just my take on it. And the support, there were local promoters that would not even support that event when we're pushing IOJ. There were other DJs that would not even support. In fact, one DJ, I will not mention his name, when JP called him and he told me that the DJ asked to be paid, I think it was either $2,000 or $5,000. I said, no, that's my boy. That's never gonna happen.
Right.
And I called him and on speakerphone, and he said, Prince said we know him. And I called him on speakerphone and he confirmed. And he said to me, he said, like, listen, in this business, I'm Jesus. And it was on speakerphone. My wife was like, yo, cuz, is that so? And I say, yes. He said, that's the same guy that used to DJ in my basement.
Wow.
I said, yeah, that's him. And she was like, wow, this is crazy. It is that deep. You know? So when we talk support, transparency, we have a long way to go for anybody we're working with as an artist. You know, I just really have to put that out there because everything you've talked about, it speaks volumes to it. You know what I mean? You know, from your perspective, how do we move forward? Like, this is where we are now. How do we move forward from here? How do people like yourself being able to bring more money to the table? Now you're doing this full time, but your bills are still there.
Bills
yeah, bills are still there now. They're not going anywhere. What did Duke say? You police like voila. Anyway. Yeah, you know, bills are still there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, what's the way forward? Do we have to be sub promoters and do more partnership with the bigger companies that are coming into this space that we've been in for years? Is that the way to go? Do we have to do more partnership with them? And do you have to now go be a Live Nation DJ to make money to survive? You know what I mean?
I think we should try to tap into a different market. And I realized that, you know, remember when I said something about having a foundation and me realizing that the Nigerians were my foundation when I said that earlier. Yeah. So I think I was able to understand that, okay, you have this foundation which are mostly Nigerians, and I started to tap into a different market. Okay. You know, there's, you know, us being in the diaspora, now you can't just stick to Nigerians alone.
Because of numbers, right? They have the numbers in Nigeria. We don't have it in America.
We don't have the numbers.
It's not enough.
So the level of support that you can get from strangers can be amazing. You know what I mean? When I say that is when you start to tap into a different market, there's the Haitian market in Chicago, big. The Caribbean market itself, big. The Kenyans, big. People from Uganda. And that's what really reflects on a lot of my mixes because I've been able to tap into different markets. So whenever I'm doing anything, a lot of these people, I have like personal relationships with them.
Yeah.
So whenever I'm doing something, I can tap into those markets because maybe my people might not be, but not their level of support right now might not be up to my speed. But because I understand that people from Kenya, they love me. People from Kenya, Ugandans, Rwanda, and Dee Money. You know what I mean? Because I've been able to understand that I need to tap into that market, play their music. So promoters need to understand that the DJs have to be very, very diverse so that, you know, when you start to realize that you're focusing on one market and that market is dulling you,
they know. Shout out to Oscillion. Oscillion is in the building. He's from Zambia. He do a lot of work with DJ Flowkid, which is like top DJ on UDI radio in terms of what you're saying now. Tapping into that market. So now there's in Zambia that there's so much fans on Under the Rock from Zambia that I'm like, good Lord, all because of people like Oscillion, because of DJ Flowkid. Duke has been doing that with the Liberians.
Yeah.
I remember I think he was doing the Liberian Independence. I'm like, this motherfucker, like, how you gonna do the Liberian Independence? You know what I'm saying? You're gonna piss off the Liberian promoters, you know?
So we got a brand in Chicago. We got a brand called Afrofusion. All right?
Yes.
So the goal of this brand is to unite people through music. You know what I mean? So with this brand, we celebrate Liberian independence, Ghanaian independence, Nigerian independence. You know, we celebrate all these different cultures. And through this brand, we've been able to diversify our reach. So I think diversity is key.
It's key. Yeah, it's important. I think Demola put something up earlier and said that until, like, first, we have to unite as Africans first. And then before we even unite as promoters, as DJs, as this. And I always tell people, right, that I personally, and it was the way I was raised, I see myself first as an African before a Nigerian, before any, and I feel like we have to see that first, whether you're from Ghana or Zimbabwe, Zambia, whatever, first, at least that give us because if you and I, or if you're from Liberia and we walk this street now, the police stopped us, they just lost, these guys are black. Yeah. They don't even know first until we speak. Maybe we have an accent.
Facts.
Oh, okay, you guys are African?
Facts.
They won't even know where we're from.
Yeah.
Right? So naturally, we're not even divided. We have been divided through the neo-colonialism and the slave mentality. So we cannot continue to do the same to ourselves. So you can now imagine the mentality. Even if I'm seen as an African, and then someone is now telling me, oh, no, you're Nigerian, I'm like, Ghanaian, but we're brothers.
Right.
Then, like, oh, you know, you're from this part of Ghana, or you're from that part of, like, I did an event with Ashane, you know, you probably know Boogie Down Nima from the Bronx. You know, together once, he had a Ghanaian artist. And then there was barely anybody there. It was like maybe like 100 people or so. He was a big artist. And I said, what happened? And they said, well, he's from this part of Ghana. They speak a different language there. So a lot of people boycott the event because they don't like that part of Ghana. And I was like, damn, this is deep. This is why we're still divided. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is why we're still divided. And it's until we fix that, I think it's going to continue to affect every business that we do.
How can we fix it, though?
I think that unification, I think that, for me, I think is that education. We have to re-educate ourselves.
Mm.
I think we really have to, because somebody has taught us wrong. The same way we grew up as we know this image of white Jesus.
Mm.
You know, I think we're going to have to re-educate ourselves that we are Africans first. The name Nigeria does not even mean anything in any language in Nigeria. Like, you know, somebody looked at us and said, this is a nigger area. Like, and Ghana was Gold Coast because they just saw it as gold, you know? And Ivory Coast is like, they have ivory. So they named us based on the value that we give them.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So we have to go through that. You know, there's a book, one of my favorite. It's called The Stolen Legacy. And it's like we have to go through that process or to re-educate ourselves from beginning, as in like we're learning ABC in terms of who we are. And I think once we have that understanding,
Right.
you know, I won't say like this guy is Igbo and an Igbo guy. You know, it won't even make you may speak a different language, but there's still something that unites us. You know what I'm saying? You say, oh, this guy from Zambia, you don't understand it, but you guys can still communicate, and you know that you have genuine love, you know, for them. Like, so now to Afrofusion, it makes perfect sense. Why not? Why can't I celebrate Liberian independence, Sierra Leone independence, Zimbabwe independence? It's our independence also. So for me, that's where it will start from.
True.
You know, that's exactly where it will start from. That's going to be hard. Re-educate. Stolen Legacy must be read. Yeah, read read the book, The Stolen Legacy. Fine. So back to business. So what is the long-term goal for Afrofusion?
Man, Afrofusion has done so many amazing things in Chicago, from the concerts to the parties, to just having a platform that brings people together. It's unfortunate that this whole pandemic has really slowed us down, slowed everybody down, because we had some amazing things planned for this year. I feel like it's kind of hard to really plan now, because when you start to plan, you don't know what happens in the future. But me and my brother, we're always working 24/7 to figure out what the next move will be. So I think people should
be talking about a lot of the things that you do, you don't even talk about, like a lot of the community events that you guys are involved with and stuff like that. You know. Very, very humble. Very, very humble, Dee Money. You know
that's what kept us here, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think you can say so much more than you are saying, or you can brag a lot more within your rights. You know, because I always tell people, even you've inspired a lot of DJs in Nigeria. I said they want to lie to themselves. There's very, very few DJs that can say, I don't know DJ Dee Money, even for those in Nigeria. You know what I'm saying? And I think I'm looking forward to so much more from you. Shout out to DJ Zimo. Zimo's in the, you know, when I talked with Zimo on this same platform, he talked about you, and it's like, listen, cause let's start this. Let's give credit to DJ Dee Money and stuff like that. You know, and I think when we talk about that coalition, for me, I'm, you know, outside of the COVID, outside of Facebook, I would like to see that to materialize into even more things. If it means that there has to be a level of contribution for membership, and you know, this old record pool stuff, now that everything is digital, maybe there's other ways of doing it. That
me and 3K we're working on that.
I think that would be dope. Keep me posted. Keep us posted. I think, you know, I would love to be involved and support that movement like we've done for years. I think it's so important, especially for those that are coming behind us, you know, saying, to see what we've done, you know, so far. Yeah.
Shout out to my OG in the building, Candy Champion. What she's posting is real. She comes to my event. She comes to she's 61 years old, all right?
Oh my God. That's wow. That's crazy. Unfortunately, Afrofusion brought me back out. I'm 61 years old, and this young man brought me back out. Shout out to my other son, DJ 3K. Wow, that's a blessing. That's a blessing. Wow, this conversation has been great with DJ Dee Money. And for everybody that's been joining us, I'm gonna wait for DJ Dee Money to come back on so that we can wrap up the conversation. It's been a blessing really to be able to have this conversation with my brothers. So important, you know. Shout out to Prince back with us. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, D Money, man. I didn't realize how far we've gone. I got carried away, and it's like, man, this is why we have to have these conversations. And there's just so much. It starts. You know, one thing, Demola, like I always give him credit for. You know, when we were doing the Nigerian independence for years, he has been yelling at us. We call Moose, say, yo, call me. We gotta unify this thing, bring everyone together. He has been pushing for that for so long. And I remember when we did came together, I saw so many other states, other promoters and DJs, they're coming together and making stuff happen. And I'm looking forward for us, even in New York or anywhere, to be able to extend on that and do even more. Yo, my brother's in the building, man. Shout out to Flow Kid, man. Yeah, Flow Kid has got that D Money energy. Flow Kid will be on for like 10 hours straight and have a freaking party online.
Oh yeah, I gotta check him out.
Oh no, they one event that they did on Facebook, they went through like 3 bottles. Okay, they were taking shots every like 10-15 minutes.
Wow.
You know? Yeah, shout out to him. So D Money, like I feel like the next part of this conversation is more of activation in terms of, you know, what needs to be done, and I want to be a part of that. But for now, right? So in conclusion, 5 years from now, where do you see all of this whole globalization of this new Afrobeats and stuff? Where do you see this going?
I think by then Afrobeats will probably be, if the level of consistency is there, Afrobeats will be where it should be, because I feel right now Afrobeats is just touching the surface. It's not really, I mean, it's a good position to be right now. It's a good foundation, which is why I say you're just touching the surface. So 5 years from now, hopefully it will get to the point whereby Afrobeat becomes one of those genres of music that has a strong hold on the diaspora.
Entirely.
Yeah.
You think it's definitely here to stay? It's not a facade?
It's here to stay. As long as we have Africans in diaspora, it's here to stay. And especially with the whole the digital age that we're in right now, you know what I mean, the social media, I think there's always going to be a lot of those TikTok videos. Shout out to the dancers, because the dancers are definitely instrumental to the success of Afro.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's even Instagram too, because once the song starts going viral, people these days, it's like, with the way the world is right now, you don't even know what's on somebody's playlist. You know what I mean? So you can't predict what they're listening to.
Can't predict,
one white guy down the street. You don't know, maybe Wizkid is what he's listening to. You don't even know if he's Burna Boy. You know what I mean? So
I walk into Foot Locker in the city and they jamming Afrobeats like at Foot Locker, so many other places. Shout out to your sister over there, Candy Champion. She said, yeah, it's here to stay.
Yeah,
you know, and I think, for me, right, I remember like when when Casanova, he went to Nigeria and came back, and then he had on the his this African attire, right? A lot of time I wear my native. I always go to the barber shop, to the point like the guys there, my friends, the American, they call me African, Wakanda. They will call me Wakanda, and I love you. I'm like, yo, I'm Wakanda, whatever, And then eventually I went back and they were like, yo, listen, man, I need to, you got to get me that outfit. I'm like, wow. Just because Casanova finally wore this thing, now all of a sudden, you guys, it's cool for you to wear. And he gave me joy. And when I think about the whole movement, I think about the food, I think about the music, I think about the fashion. which is why I think it's here to stay. Just like hip hop, because hip hop is a way of life. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's how we live, and Afrobeat is really how we live. Our food, what we eat, what we drink, everything is a part of it. You know. So yes, cool. So anything else? Anything else you want to put out there before I'm gonna wrap it up with my quiz for you?
Shout out to everybody that tuned in. Shout out to my boy DJ Lyrics. DJ Lyrics is one of my good friends, a great DJ from Ghana. He's based in Madison, Wisconsin. I like his consistency. He's in the building. So, Kaz, man, I appreciate you for what you've been able to contribute and what you're still contributing to the whole diaspora, to the whole world, to the whole Afrobeat scene. I want to say your blessings are bigger than your imagination. So keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Thanks. So cool. Let's do this. So the first one is vinyl or MP3s?
Man, I started off with vinyl, so stick to the vinyl. But you know what? Even with the whole vinyl is too heavy. MP3 is right. It's my hard drive right here. This is one of my most prized possessions right here. You know what I mean? The amount of MP3 on this is over.
How many vinyls would that be?
Well, listen, there's over 200,000 MP3s on here. You think I can carry all those as vinyls?
You need like 10 acres to put all those vinyls.
Right. So I'm gonna forget vinyl, man.
All right, cool. Tribesman or Maven?
I mean, LD my guy. I mean, LD has a huge impact on my on supporting what I do. Shout out to Don Jazzy too, but that's a tough one. I don't know. I'm not gonna pick no one.
All right, shout out to Prince Olu. He's asking you if you want to sell your vinyls. You know.
Yeah, holla at me, bro. Holla at me. What's up?
All right. Yacht or private jet?
Private jet, like by alone.
Amen. Gold or diamonds?
Of course, diamond.
All right. 90s Afro pop or year 2000 and beyond?
Well, that's a tough one though, because man, we always start. We are going to the original, so I say 90s.
90s. All right. Reggae or dancehall?
Depends on the mood. I'll go with dancehall, Jadi.
P-Man or Kosan?
I don't really pay attention.
Eco Hotel or Federal Palace?
I haven't been in Lagos in a while, so I don't know.
When was the last time you were in Lagos?
Last time I was in Lagos was 6 years ago.
Oh, wow. All right. I'll feel you on that one. So, pounded yam or jollof rice?
Without a doubt, pounded yam.
Yeah. Osha. 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 Confirm. Apple or Android?
I've had an Apple iPhone since it came out, so Apple.
Team Apple over here, official.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Candy said pound yam. She's not playing. You're with us. You are one of us. Yeah. You are one of us. You know, bro, this has been dope, man. I had so much fun. Thank you so much, man. More blessing always.
Thank you, bro.
Feeling you, legend, 100%. Okay, 100%.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, my brother. Enjoy your show. I know you're turning up later, most
yes,
likely.
Sir.
Yeah.
And thanks for the support, man. I got the support you sent, man.
No. Thank you, man. Always put it up. People should look, guys. When you see folks online going live, they have their cash out there. Support. That's part of what we're talking about. Support. Yes. All right, my brother. Bless.
Take care, man. One love.
Fumi, you are a latecomer. You are a true African. You are a latecomer. After the end of the show, you just joined us. You are a latecomer. Go sit down somewhere. But this was so real. This was so important. Shout out to DJ Dee Money. Shout out to DJ 3K. These guys are legends. They've been doing this, man, from a very long time. I'm proud to have been part of them. What are you cooking now? What are you cooking? Deliver something to us now. send something, Uber Eat, deliver, enter my DM, send something to us, you know. Pandeyam, Ila Laseko vibe. That's what I'm on right now. But yeah, big up. Thank you all. Thank you all so much. Tomorrow is Freestyle Friday. I'm gonna be on. I don't think I have any guests officially. I'm gonna sign in about 6 o'clock, and then I'm just gonna talk with different people. Yeah, I'm gonna save this. It will be in my story, and I always upload it to podcasts, to YouTube, other places, on iTunes, everywhere. You know. So yeah. So tomorrow, anytime from 6 p.m. If you want to have a conversation, you have something to say, you want to freestyle, you want to sing, whatever, you want to talk about, whatever, just hit me up and we'll make it happen. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, or nights. Thank you. Bless.